Next up, guys, we've got Bayon Masoodi from Western Australia. From The Run with Isha Patel. Let's find out what we're up against.
Record. Let's go, Bayon. Come on, mate, the game's up. We've got Bayon.
And if it goes down, time on the run is over.
The premise of the show is that there are two teams of individuals. The first team are a group of fugitives, and they have to run away and hide using whatever means necessary to avoid capture. The second group of people are called hunters, and they are comprised of ex-police, ex-military, ex-intelligence agents, and all kinds of scary-looking experts who are trained to capture. And they have to use whatever tools are at their disposal to catch the fugitives. So it's like a giant game of adult hide and seek. I've never had any interest in participating in a reality TV show ever. I've always thought this reality TV was a silly premise, and I never want to be involved in any kind of this nonsense television. But I saw this show, and this one was different. This one had strategy, it had intrigue, it had suspense, it had competitiveness, and it was a huge game that I thought was really, really cool. And I thought, this is something that I think I could do well at, and it's something I think I would really enjoy. And it was a show that I felt had substance and dignity. So I made a quick application, took me about 10 minutes, threw it in, thinking that would be the last I'd ever hear of it. About 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from a casting agent saying, "We think you're fantastic, we'd love you to audition for the show," and the rest was history. I think not only just the adherence to the rules and the laws of the faith, but also in terms of my conduct, my demeanor, the way I treat others, my work ethic, my ethic as a father and as a parent, as a husband. All of those have been very intimately shaped by my background as a Baha'i and the teachings of the Baha'i faith. The first one was, how does it affect my family? So this was an internal struggle. I have a 2-year-old, and to leave my child in my home with my wife and then go to the other side of the country for a month to film is a huge amount of pressure on my wife to decide whether it was worthwhile to put this pressure on my family to go interstate for this amount of time. Fortunately, my wife was very, very supportive and accommodating, and she said, "Yes, that's okay, you go, do it, we'll be fine," and thankfully they both were okay. The other struggle I faced was the external struggle, and that was the concept of public perception. As a Baha'i from a Persian background, for me to go on a reality TV show, it's not really the norm of a Persian family for the kids to go on reality TV. So the concept of what would people think, what kind of inferences would people draw, how would it adversely affect the reputation of myself, my family, my faith? Would there be adverse impacts on any of these things? Would the producers of the show edit the show in such a manner to portray me in a negative light? So these are all kind of factors that had to be weighed up to see whether it was worthwhile to embark on this endeavor or not. And it was a struggle, because I've seen other reality TV shows where people have been edited very selectively to portray somebody in a positive or negative light, regardless of whether that's truthful or not. So that was the other external struggle that I had to face. We were met with so much love and kindness and generosity from totally random strangers from within our community. And this really, really amazed me, surprised me, shocked me, and really kind of renewed my faith in humanity. To see so many people from the general and wider community showing kindness and love and generosity to complete strangers was an amazing experience. I'm now a recognized entity. I walk down the street and people recognize me. They come and say hello. They say, "Oh, I saw you on TV," or "I saw you on social media," or "saw you on this, that channel," or radio station, or in the newspaper, or magazine, or wherever it is that they saw me. Not something that I kind of anticipated going into all this. So it's kind of a bit weird, but I guess kind of fun and cool at the same time. I now have a platform to the public where people actively are prepared to listen to what I have to say. And I really, really want to use that platform in a manner that benefits society and the community in some way. Anything that brings about unity in our society and the well-being of mankind. So it's really important for me that I use this public platform that I have to drive positive change. My time has become a little bit impacted, so I have less time to actively serve the faith in the same ways that I was serving before. For example, being on the local spiritual assembly or serving on various committees. My ability there has lessened somewhat. However, other opportunities to serve the faith have sprung up in its stead. So now, for example, there's been elements of the show that have reflected the Baha'i faith. There's been snippets within the show that have directly had footage or kind of visuals of the faith. So those are things that can be utilized as teaching opportunities. I frequently participate in interviews, whether it be on television or radio or newspapers, journals, magazines, online blogs, and through that I've had the opportunity to share the message of the faith or spread the name of Baha'u'llah. I'm often invited to events where I'm networking and mingling with other people. Again, I have opportunity to share the message of the faith with them. So I'm infinitely happy and grateful for that opportunity. I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned about myself is that I don't want to be apart from my son for extended periods of time. I was away for almost a month and it was really, really hard. I shed quite a few tears while I was away, especially when, for example, if I'd go to like a park or if I was in a public place which had like a playground or something similar to that, where I would see the children's equipment or like the slide or the merry-go-round. These kind of things would remind me of my son. And then the waterworks would then commence. Number one, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of hard work. There's a lot of paperwork that goes at the front end, a lot of preparation that goes at the front end. It'll take massive amounts of your time. And on the other end, if you're doing it for fame and fortune, don't. Because it won't automatically come with fame and fortune. That's not a guaranteed thing. If anything, there's no fortune behind it. You don't get a lot of money out of this activity. So if you're doing it for money, don't. Stick with your day job. If you're doing it for some other reason, some personal reason, or for to compete or to test yourself or your own personal development, if that's your only goal in mind, then yeah, by all means, go for it. With that mindset, it's a worthwhile endeavor. But if you're doing it for the wrong reasons of fame, fortune, and glory, don't waste your time. It's not the right path. There are different ways to surf. When I was young, I attended a conference in the United States, and I saw on a stage at this conference some young believers who were rapping a Baha'i prayer. So they were using a very kind of unique format of artistic expression to convey their love for Baha'u'llah. Now, for me, that was a huge shock to my system because I didn't think that was a manner of expression that was customary or traditional. But it opened up my mind to think that, you know what? I don't have to serve in this one unique format. I can diversify into things that are non-conventional. Now, so for anyone who wants to serve in different capacities, then by all means, try that. Open up your hearts, look at different methods. Don't look at just what has been done in the past or what your parents did. There are an infinite number of opportunities where you can serve the faith in capacities or methods that you may not have considered in the past. So be open-minded to all those opportunities and embrace them. Try it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. You can always go back to your tried and true tested methods that you've always used in the past.